everyone. This is Ronnie once again of Coffee Moments with Ronnie. I'm so grateful because one of my friends, colleagues, I met her in Korea way back 2013. Actually, we became close and we keep on talking to each other through Messenger. Maybe almost the last time that we saw each other 2015 because she visited us because she went to Gyeongju and then she cooked for us, the people who left in Incheon. Pizza. It's my first time to eat the Malaysian pizza. I'm so grateful that she did that for everyone. So, friends, I would like you to meet my precious, beautiful lawyer, doctor, friend, Anie.
Hi, everyone.
Thank you so much, Anie, for gracing my blog because I'm going to upload this one later on in YouTube after doing some editing. Anie, let's start because I have some questions because I'm still curious about some of, especially your names, the culture of Malaysia, especially for a Muslim people because I met you a very short time only in South Korea. So my first question, normally I ask this question for my guests because this is very important. Your full name is Anie Farahida Omar, right?
Farahida.
I'm wondering, is there any history or story about why your parents name you Anie?
First of all, I would like to say hello to Ronnie and hello to Ronnie's viewer and to Muslims viewer. Assalamualaikum. So my name is Anie Farahida Omar. So people call me Anie in Korea, but you can call me also Farah. So there is no special history about my name. Anie is just a normal name. Actually, for Malaysian people, they will pronounce it as Anie, not Anie.
Okay.
It's Anie. But when I ask my parents, they say that actually your name is Anie. So Farahida doesn't have any special meaning. But for Malaysian people, for Malay Muslims, usually they will use Arabic names. So Farah means happiness. Yeah, actually, for Muslim people, we really believe in the everything that we say will become a prayer. So that's why if you have a good name, eventually you will become as good as the name that given by your parents. So even I also believe that my personality reflected.
You're so gullible. Actually, you're so gullible. That's why it reflects your name, Anie. So the proper pronunciation should be Anie.
No, proper pronunciation is Anie Farahida.
Any.
Yeah, right. The correct one is Anie.
Between the two, Anie Farahida.
Farahida.
Farahida, which do you prefer to call?
Anie is actually for universities friend names and also for Korean people because if you in Korea if I have to introduce my name, they will call me Para. So because they don't
right.
So I don't like it, like Para Sakura. So it's better to call me Anie. But I really don't mind if you call me Anie and Farah. Both are okay with me. I'm comfortable with any names. I have so many names.
Right. Thank you so much because I'm still curious about your name. That's why it's already clear. So we can call you both either Farah or Anie. So thank you so much for that answer. And then, which particular hometown in Malaysia do you grow up?
Oh, I born and I always stayed in Seremban, Negeri Sembilan.
Seremban?
So Seremban located is near to Kuala Lumpur. So I believe that you went there to Kuala Lumpur and Kuala Lumpur is our capital city. So it's our capital city, Kuala Lumpur. So it's just like for 1 hour from my city. So it's very close. It's just like from Incheon to Seoul. That's how. Seremban is
the distance
like
between
Incheon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the specialty of the location? Are there beaches or provinces or city like the Kuala Lumpur? What is a particular specialty in your hometown?
Our place is not for tourists actually, except for Port Dickson. So Port Dickson is it's what we call that. It's very famous for the beaches.
All right.
It's like 20 minutes from my town. And then we have in Seremban, no. Actually, we are more popular with our culture and also our spicy food because Negeri Sembilan people. I'm a Negeri Sembilanis, so Negeri Sembilan people, we are famous with our very spicy food. compared to other country. Compared to other states.
All right.
We don't
Okay.
have.
Since you already mentioned about the spiciness of the Malaysian food, especially in your hometown, is
Yeah.
there? Have you tasted the spiciness of the food in Korea?
Of course.
Which one? Which particular dish is that?
Okay. I admit that the Korean food also spicy,
You're right.
which I really love. But
Mm,
they have different type of spiciness. Yeah.
right.
Because we in Malaysia we have this kind of, I don't know what the name in English. We
Mhm.
call it chili burung ataupun chili api. So in English it is translated as fiery chili or bird chili.
Oh,
It's very small and it's super spicy. So you cannot find this in Korea. So I can tolerate with Korean spicy
spiciness.
food. But
All
they
right.
have different type. They have different type because you know that in Korea they have samyang, right?
Mm.
Samyang noodles. It's super spicy. I
Mm.
really love it. I really love it actually.
Oh, so you already
Ah.
tasted it.
I eat everything except veggie.
Okay, we will go back later your Korean life, and then
Yeah,
actually during your stay in your hometown, because I know your course, you took PhD in law, and then
yeah.
definitely your undergraduate course during college is also law. Uh, Actually, what is your dream course or job during your high school days?
When I was teenagers, I always want to be a photographer. Actually,
Oh, all
even
right.
yeah, I always want to be a photographer. At that time, if you still remember, during our time when we were
Mhm.
young, photography is not something that people look at uh, as a as a stable job. Like
Mhm.
you know that people will say that you cannot make money with being just being a
But
photographer. But now
yes,
look at how expensive. But
correct.
at that time, I really want to be a photographer. But of course, my parents not allowed it. And
Mhm.
then and then when I finished my high school, I selected few programs.
Uh-huh. Mhm.
I want to take what we call that
Oh, okay.
accounting, law, and also it's a Islamic review knowledge. It's
Mm,
okay. You know that we have civil law, right? But we
right.
also have Sharia law. So Sharia law is Islamic law. So I want to study in that Islamic law. But eventually I end up at law school because even at law school we can study two programs: Islamic law and also civil law. So killing two birds with one stone. So that's how I end up with law school.
All right.
Mm.
Actually, during your high school, you told me that you love photography. Who inspired you about this, let's say, passion of yours? Actually, because we met in South Korea, you really love to take pictures. Who inspired you to pursue in your mind during high school about photography? Is there someone in your family who are also love taking pictures?
My dad, he
Mm,
had
okay.
actually we have an old model of DSLR. It's a very old one using the what we call that the Kodak
Yes.
film.
Mm.
I still have that. And my father is really good in photography, but it's not his job, of course.
Mhm.
I don't have any. I don't know where the inspiration came from. But I just love taking photographies. Actually, I love taking scenery picture. I love
Yeah.
mountainous view.
Mhm.
I love actually taking pictures of human. I love taking pictures of beautiful women. Actually,
All right. Oh, I see. And then you told me you have actually three options in the courses during college. Is there
yeah.
someone in your family pushes you to pursue definitely law, or it's your own decision?
Not my decision. My dad.
Oh, it's still your dad. All right.
You take this course. Okay, and then all right. I just took it. That's how.
Okay.
Mm.
So you fell in love with the course, definitely law.
Not for the first time. I
Mm-hmm.
remember, I still remember on the first day of my what we call that enrollment.
Mm-hmm.
When I came to matriculation, I still remember that day. Um, I I said to God, God, I really want to graduate right now. Actually,
Uh-huh.
because we have 6 years to go, but I really want to
Right.
graduate on the first day that I
First
came
day?
to matriculation. But I really want to finish study early because I don't like this subject. But
Mhm.
eventually, then I realized that okay, this subject is really cool actually, and
Oh,
eventually,
all right.
and now I had no other. I think the only thing that can take my interest out of law only maybe manga or anime. So, but I really love law subject now right now.
Okay. So you fell in love with it already eventually.
Eventually.
Okay.
Okay, just for Ronnie's viewer, I practice as a banking litigation lawyer. I
Okay.
also practice criminal lawyer. I solve drug cases, murder cases, and few other cases as well. So I think there is one time that I had a very important trial. I was on the way to go to the court.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's early in the morning. So when I want to go out, actually, and then I was stopped by something. I want to go out, and then the road, something. I saw something on the road. I was said,
Uh-huh.
oh my God, there is a dead cow on the road. So I
Mm-hmm.
cannot cross. So I drove my car slowly to the cow, and actually it's a human.
Oh my God.
So that human, actually, that guy, he drunk, and then,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So I had to call someone and then I had to
Assist
call
him.
my
Mhm.
friend, and I had to call the court. I said, can you please, can you wait for me because I had a problem to come. So, just for your information, if we for the lawyers, we cannot come late to the court because if you
Correct.
come late, if if the what we call that, if the interpreter call your cases maybe 3 times, and if you don't come, then mostly the magistrate will take an action against us. So that's why I have to call. Just wait for us because I have a problem now because someone is drunk on the road and I need to move him aside first, and then I came late, but the
It's
judge
reasonable.
will
Actually, it's
follow.
reasonable.
But we
That's
have to
why.
call. Yeah, we have to
All
call
right.
first.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you for that
Thank.
incidents of yours that you
Yeah.
share. Okay. Any we met in South Korea, and then I noticed that during our conversation, so we became friends. You already know some of the culture and some of the term in Japanese. Have you been to Japan before?
No, I've
Mhm.
been to Japan, but actually I was highly influenced by the anime and the J drama. Actually,
Oh,
that's
okay.
how I know the Japanese term a lot. I really want to go to Japan, Ronnie. I really want to stay there and stay there forever. That's why I really envy with Mariana actually. So I'm a big fan. I'm a diehard fan of J drama and anime. That's how I learned the Japanese term
All
from there.
right.
Actually I also have a Japanese friend, and that's why
So
when I was young.
you're doing conversation in English and in Japanese with your Japanese
No,
friend.
it's a very basic, Ronnie. I cannot hold a Japanese conversation, but just a basic term, just like itadakimasu, and like just like
Okay.
that. Itadakimasu.
It's the basic is still useful. It's a foundation
Like that,
for communication.
like daijoubu desu.
Dachabu desu ka? Okay. Okay.
Like,
Okay. Thank you, Annie. And then we met in South Korea. How
mm.
the KGSP actually influenced you to apply for this scholarship?
Okay, when I before I came to Korea, actually I applied so many overseas scholarship. So
Mm-hmm.
at that time, I applied Turkish scholarship.
Oh,
I
okay.
applied Korean government scholarship. I also applied the UK scholarship,
Mm-hmm.
and then Australia at that time. And then I also applied Japanese scholarship,
Scholarship,
but I didn't.
okay.
But that one I failed. I failed Japanese. I'm so sad at the time, but it's okay. And then I waited for another scholarship to come, and then actually I really want to go to Turkey,
Mm-hmm.
but but because the current government scholarship came first, then I went there. So how I know about the scholarship, I just Google and then find it by myself. Because at that time,
Oh,
I really want to study overseas. This is one of the biggest dream that I have. I already have it in my mind when I was teenagers. I said someday I will travel abroad. So
It's already actually the scholarship in Korea is destined for you because you keep on visioning that it's destined actually for you.
yes,
Oh,
yes.
okay. So what is your emotion upon receiving the final notification that you really passed the scholarship? So
Um,
what's happening in your mind then?
I'm very emotionless person. When I got, I just okay. That's
Okay,
all.
okay, God.
I don't dance. Even when I got job as a lecturer, lecturer is also one of the biggest dream that I ever had. So
Mhm.
even I'm I'm very happy inside. I was very happy inside, but in terms of physical what you call, I don't celebrate it. I
Em-
just
uh, Physical
okay.
emotion, you don't show
Yeah.
it to
Oh,
people.
thank God I got this. But I had a feeling that I will get this. I had a feeling that
Oh,
I'll get this actually.
okay. What's your mom and dad told you about that you're going to South Korea? Because the culture number one is different, and also South Korea is a non-English speaking country.
Yeah.
Third, because later on I will talk to you about this, and also definitely the weather, especially the bloody winter. So, what
Yeah.
does your parents told you about going abroad for study, especially in South Korea?
They are totally okay with it. They just want to know that how far is Korea
All
because
right.
they want to come. That's why. That's all. Because even because before this, before I went to Korea, my brother already studied in Egypt for
Mm,
medicine. So they actually, Ronnie, my parents, they had traveled all around the world more than me. I think they have traveled almost for 40 or 60 countries. So they like it. They have no problem. But of
maybe,
course, they
maybe, maybe someday I will also interview your dad.
you know just a short okay my parents never forget you, and once in a while they will ask you, how's Ronnie? Once in a while, like every 3 months, maybe 4 months, how's Ronnie?
Oh,
Ronnie is okay, Ronnie is
you
okay.
can
That is
send this link. You can send this link to them. I would like to say hi with your parents,
they
especially your mom
always
and your.
remember you. They always mention your name. How's Ronnie now? Ronnie is professor now. Wow. This like that. They always
Okay.
remember you.
Or we can send this link later on after editing and uploading
Sure,
this in
sure,
YouTube.
sure.
I can send it to your dad also. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're what happened then? So you accepted the scholarship and then you flew to South Korea. What is your first statement in your mind that you landed in Incheon Airport?
I just want to take shower.
Oh my God.
I really
Because
wrote
how many hours from Malaysia to South Korea? By
eight
plane?
hours. 8 hours.
Hours? Okay.
But remember that we have to go in a group. Before check-in, we have to stand by like 5 hours. And I still remember this, around 5 hours, and then we have to queue, and then 8 hours, and then as when we landed, we have to take another 1 hour from Incheon
Mhm.
to our place. And
Mhm.
then I remember we arrived at 7 a.m. at that time. And then
Oh,
at
a
7
day
a.m.
after. That is a day after.
the day after that, and then it's totally more than 12 hours. I feel so stinky. We live in a tropical country. We take
Correct.
shower at least 2 to 3 times a day.
Uh,
So
yes.
when I arrive, and then Jin told me that, okay, just put here and then go out because we will go to the office. I said okay, but then I closed the door and I took shower, and I can hear that he's knock 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 knock, knock.
Knocking.
Okay. Shower is the
Okay.
most important thing because I feel so stinky. I can't. So that's how. So that the first thing when I landed in Korea, I said I really want to take shower. That's the first thing came to my mind.
Okay, so you're already in the hostel and you're already in Incheon. So what is
Yeah.
your let's say not unforgettable actually. How do you find South Korea that time?
Okay, the first day I came to Korea is super impressive. I always told everyone about this. They settle our matters in half day. Remember
Mhm.
when I came there at 7 o'clock, and then they said that okay, let's gather at the Kitsusa, the ground.
Mhm.
At
Mhm.
8 o'clock, they went there and then they processed our information. I
Mhm.
had a Korean buddy.
Yeah,
And then she brought me to the what is the
bank.
name? Bank, to the bank. And then I had an account bank, and then I took picture for passport, and then she went to Home Plus with me to buy my
Mhm.
groceries,
Mhm. Mhm.
and then there are few things that I that settled in a half day. in half day, everything done. And I was like, no wonder Korea is super efficient, because they are so, I was so impressed with
So
how
everything is accessible. Everything is accessible.
they are so good. And no one can beat Korean
Be-
people in
because
this
that is their
aspect.
culture, bali bali. We need
Wow,
to rush everything actually in a short
that is
period
super
of time.
impressive. Then I say that no wonder they are so good. They don't know, no wonder they became a modern country in just 50 years. They are
All right.
so good in this matter. I really love that part. I really love about Korean people.
Okay. How
And
do you
then
manage your first week or first few months in living in
I
China?
came prepared. My bag is
Oh,
full
all
of
right.
food. We have in my bag. I already know that because I travel a lot already before I came to Korea, so I know how to handle myself. I'm a Juma already at that time, so I know how to handle myself even when I come to Korea. Even that's why my Korean buddy, she left me in the second week, because she know because I'm too independent, because I know how to handle myself. So, and then when even in my bag, I have I have fast food. Yeah,
Instant food.
the instant meat food that I can eat with the rice. So
All
I have
right.
no problem with that. Even when I went to Home Plus with my Korean buddy on the first day, I said, okay, I need this. Give me give me egg, give me rice, give me
Okay.
seafood, because in for Muslim people we can eat seafood, no problem. So I had seafood, and then I brought chicken floss and meat floss from my country. So I just eat with, and then on the first day I already had my dinner and lunch. I have proper dinner and lunch,
All right.
Malaysian food. So I have no
Malaysian food.
problem actually.
Okay. So
Yeah, I'm
food is
Majuma.
okay. You manage everything about the your food. Definitely, it's very essential. And then,
Yeah,
how about the culture adjustment? Because I know you're also a Muslim. Definitely, there's a certain period of time that you need to pray. Because I went to Japan also. I
yeah.
have several Muslim friends because we also pay respect for our culture. So, what is the adjustment that you did, especially for praying?
Okay. So cultural differences is actually the barrier between Muslim and non-Muslim
Correct.
country. If you live in non-Muslim countries, that is my concern. Actually, it's about prayer. So for Ronnie's viewer, if you want to know, Muslim, we have to pray 5 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
So 5 times a day, but during the, what we call that, during the daytime, we
Mm-hmm.
have to pray 2 times. So that is my concern actually. So I said how to pray during the study time, but
Correct.
it's still okay, because I find the gap that we have a break at 1 hour at
Mm-hmm.
1 p.m. So that's why when at 1 p.m. when everyone went to lunch, so I rushed to the washroom, and then I find a empty class. Or sometimes if you and then I or sometimes I went to the almost to the rooftop and then prayed there. I
Mm.
Because actually for prayer we only take five minutes. It's
Oh,
not that
okay.
only 5 minutes, and then everything is done. So for the afternoon prayer, I pray at the room. But I have this concern actually, because I live with non-Muslim friends, Rositsa. But I'm grateful that Rositsa. I'm so grateful that Rositsa already. She's what we call that. She knows about Muslim, because in Bulgaria
Correct.
they have Turkish Bulgarian people, so she knows about it. So
She's open about the culture differences.
she has no problem. I'm so grateful that at least, even though Korean people don't understand that why I have to pray,
Mm-hmm.
but at least my professor said, okay, just do whatever you want to do. So at least he didn't prohibit me from praying.
Correct.
I'm grateful that I'm surrounded with people who understand my beliefs. That's
All right.
that's how.
So food and the culture is no problem. How about the language barrier, Annie?
In terms of study of instead of studying the Korean language,
Mm-hmm.
to study the Korean, what we call that, the Korean alphabet, how to
Hangul.
read, yeah, Hangul, how to create Hangul is super easy compared to Japanese. However, for me, however, to learn how to speak Korean is harder than to learn how to speak Japanese
Correct.
sentences
The
because
same. It's the same analysis of me, but
yeah,
Mariana's thinking is different.
yeah, and that's why even though I cannot read Japanese character, I can understand a little bit about when I read when I watch manga or anime or J drama. I can actually understand, and even I understand that even sometimes the subtitle is wrong. I know. I said this is not the correct one. I can understand. I cannot speak like them, but I can understand. But compared to Korean, I had a problem to understand. I had a problem to actually to make a single sentence in Korean during my first year and second year.
Mhm, mhm,
Maybe because I think because I love Japanese culture too much. Maybe because of that. I don't know.
mhm.
Maybe.
Okay, so the first three has no problem because we are studying actually the language then, and
Yeah.
friends are helping us to survive, especially in dealing with Koreans. And
Hmm.
my last question about our KGSP life, because later on I will share some of the pictures. How about the weather? We I'm living in the Philippines before, and you're living in Malaysia. The weather
Yes.
definitely is different. How did you adjust it, especially the winter season?
I love Korean weather so much, except for
Really?
summer. Except
Yeah,
summer.
except for summer, the same. Okay.
Okay, let me tell you something. Why I hate some? Why I cannot say I hate some. I'm a Muslim. I cannot say that because it's a God's creation. But I'm not in love with summer in Korea
Correct.
because of this. Summer in Korea is super hot that you cannot compare even when you go to Malaysia. Malaysia is a hot country, but Korea when during summertime is super hot, and you know that the first time I wear sunscreen is in Korea because I got
Oh,
what we call that I got sunburn because
sunburn.
of Korean summer. I never learned how to wear the sunscreen in Malaysia, and I never get sunburn. So I was like, wow, Korean summer is so hot. But I really my favorite season is fall. I really love fall season because it's super romantic. And when what we call that when the flower
It's changing color,
fall
falling down. Okay.
with falling downs, and then it's super romantic. I know that Korean people they don't like fall because they have this what we call this like kamgi or flu or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of that, because they have this allergic. I think so. So, but I really love because they even say that fall season is a sad season. But for
Sad
me,
season.
this okay. I love fall season. I really miss winter, and I also love spring because of sakura. Not sakura,
Okay.
cherry blossom.
Cherry blossom. Okay. So you experience winter. Have you experienced before the snowfall?
No, this is my first
So
time
first
actually.
time in South Korea. So
In South
what
Korea
is
is the first time. I also cannot
okay?
remember
What is your
because
experience during the first snowfall?
you know me, I'm emotionalist. But I love it. I love it so much. When in Gwangju, I live in Gwangju. After that, after Incheon,
Mhm.
so we have a very heavy snow. So even because on the rooftop on my where I lived, we have a very flat area. So during winter, we it's like a bed. So I always like I always laid on that snow. It's really my
Oh,
dream. It's really look like Narnia. When we during winter there is a it's not romantic feeling, but it's like a sad feeling when you see winter. I really love, and then especially for women during winter, our skin gets better.
because our pores will close because of the cold
Yeah,
winter.
it's so glowy and it's so fair. I love winter because of that.
Okay, thank you so much, Ania, about that for sharing your KGSP life, especially encountering a different problems, language, food, the culture, and actually dealing with the bloody, especially the bloody winter, because winter in South Korea is too hard, too harsh
Oh,
actually, too harsh. Even
yeah.
even Koreans don't like it. And how do you able to manage dealing with me, with us, because we're studying the language. Most of us, actually all of us are foreigners. Only the sonsei name or the teacher are Korean. How
Yeah.
do you able to manage dealing with everyone?
Okay. I have this mindset. before I came, okay, let me share with you. Prior to came when I came to Korea, when I I told you that I applied few scholarship, right? And I also got Turkish scholarship at the same time when I got Korean government scholarship. At that time, I really want to go to Turkey because if I go to Turkey, I can go to other European countries, right?
Correct.
Okay, but I had this thought. I said, I'm a Muslim. I live in Malaysia. Malay is a majority in our country. So we also a Muslim country. So I have the biggest advantage in my country. So I had everything in my country. We are the majority. Okay, you understand because you also are the majority people in your country. So I had this time. If I go to Turkey, Turkey is a Muslim country. So more or less it's also the same. So I really want to know what is the feeling to become a minority in a non-Muslim country. I had this feeling. I had this thought when I came to Korea. I said, I really want to go to non-speaking English country. I want to go to non-Muslim country, and I want to feel how it feels to be a minority in that country. So when I went to Korea, I had this mindset, and of course, I had a bitter and sweet experience with Korean people and non-Korean people. One, and second, I already have this mindset that I want to make friends with many nationalities as possible. I already have this. I don't want to make friends with Malaysian friends and not just Malaysian friends, but I want to be with friends with many countries. I already had this. So when I came there, because I had this mindset, so I have no problem to mingle with everyone.
Oh, all right. So you're able to manage different culture, different language,
I love it, Ron.
different religion. So because
I love. I,
actually we became friends. Okay, this is the last question before we proceed to your PhD life. What is your how do you feel when we encounter the siren alarm in our Kisutsa for the fire? Something is burning in the second floor because we're living on the same floor and the third floor, especially you and Rositza are living nearby the stairs and the elevator, but the fire happens actually parallel to your floor, just only second floor. So what is your actually how do you able what is your emotion that time?
oh, it's funny because we thought that it's just for training. And then I remember that Rosie was sleeping at the time, and I said, Rosie, we are so relaxed at the time. And I said that, Rosie, we have to wake up. I think this alarm is for real. Wake up, wake up. So she's so relaxed. I was so relaxed too. And then she just wear something. I also wear something. And then we are slowly. The funniest part was when I want to check the stairs if it's real or not. I still remember this. When I check, at the elevator, there are stairs, right? Okay. When I went out there, then I saw Brother Oshi. This is the stairs, Brother Oshi. From here, he jumped from here to here. He said, Ukti, he called me Ukti. Ukti, hurry up, there is a fire. I said, and then he ran out without wearing slippers. It's so funny. Yeah, because he's so panicked. Ukti, hurry up. And then if you still remember, and after everyone went out, remember who's the girl? Tin. She collapsed, and then she collapsed on me. So I have to hold her at that time. Yeah, it is one of the unforgettable memory at that time.
Because everyone get out from their room, we gathered on the first floor. We are all surprised because everyone during that time is almost 12 o'clock. Actually, that is the most. Same with me. That is one of my most unforgettable experience happened during our stay in the hostel in Incheon. Anyway, let's proceed to your PhD life. Because after you pass the language program, you immediately transfer to Gwangju for our PhD course because you actually you are selected for the PhD for taking law. Can you actually compare the differences because actually you grew up in Malaysia, the culture And the practice in the university in Malaysia is definitely different. The practice and culture in the Korean university. So could you name maybe one or two differences of the university or the education system?
In terms of education system, okay, more or less it's almost the same.
Mhm.
More or less the same. I think I mean from law study perspective. However, I noticed that these Korean people, they have this hueshik. They like to eat together.
Yeah.
So they have this. Okay, even my professor also like, let's eat together after class. Let's eat together after class. Or
Mhm.
sometimes they brought the lunch or dinner into the
Correct.
class. So this one is not common in our society.
Mm.
Of course, we can eat together with your lecturer, but it's not that common that we have handshake all the time. We have lunch together at a time. It's not even for I noticed that for my friends who works in lab, they also have what we call, the professor also have the allocation to eat together. Sometimes they got card for
Mhm,
their
mhm,
students. This
mhm,
is
mhm.
one is not common. For in terms of study, I think more or less we are just the same.
The
Come,
same.
yeah, just come to the class and then taking notes, and then we have tests, and then we have final examination. But in terms of coaching, supervising, it's also is it's the same. No,
The
no,
same.
no, no difference at all. Yeah, no
Okay.
difference.
So you already in Gwangju and preparing for your PhD dissertation or your thesis. So
Yeah.
what is the unforgettable experience that you encounter or happen while doing your dissertation for
Oh,
graduation?
okay. I had a very dark moments in Gwangju because of my study. So
Mm-hmm.
when I talk, okay, in at Inha at Incheon, I think the dark moment is just for our Korean language, and the rest are so those were so sweet. I have very sweet moment with you, with my friends, with Song Senim.
Uh-uh.
I still remember them. I still miss them so much. I always want to rewind that moment again. And even in Gwangju, I have very sweet moment as well. I had the most best life. Even I consider Gwangju is my
Mm-hmm.
second home. But I had a very dark moment in Gwangju because of my study. Because PhD is a lonely journey. No matter how much people give you support, give you moral support, but it's very hard for me to study because it's not easy to do PhD.
Correct.
I cried maybe almost every day.
Mm-hmm.
When I cried, I don't have any reason. Just cry, just kapchagi writing.
Yeah, it's part of actually while doing that is there's an emotion actually.
I have no reason why I cry. I just cried, and then even when I go to the class, suddenly I cry, and then okay, let's go to class. Just like that. I had no reason. I don't know why, because I cannot stop it because it's very hard for me. And then when we became sad, and I became so tired, and you know that because of that we become so more sensitive. And sometimes when your professor push you, and we thought that you don't understand me, we are just too tired. And one of the thing that makes me more what we call that more sensitive is because during that time my nephew Aisha, she had to undergone the heart surgery at that
Mm.
time. So at that time because I was alone in Korea and she far away, and then suddenly the doctor said that she had a very severe heart disease
Mm-hmm.
at the time. This is one of the hardest moment at that time. So I still remember that Ronnie even helped me with some money donation. Thank you, Ronnie, for that. You
I
also give
know, no.
donation.
At least you survived. Actually, you're already a doctor of the.
Yeah,
Actually, I admire you because I told you before that I also love. I also really want to take the
yeah,
law. If I have time, if I have this enough money or enough
yeah,
mindset, maybe in future I will also take the same course that you took because I also love reading and dealing with cases, especially the one that you shared a while ago during your court session.
yeah. I want to share something, Ronnie. One of the thing is, I still remember I already had my what we call that my proposal. my
Mm-hmm.
proposal. At that time, I really want to write about this, about something. And then you know that Korean professor, they are very strict. No, you have to write like this. And then I was really sad. And then I said, I want to write what I want. At that time,
Correct.
I'm so sad and I'm so puzzled. I don't know what to do
Mm-hmm,
because I
mm-hmm,
said
mm-hmm.
if I write something else, I'm not happy. So and then I remember I told you. I remember I told you. I said, Ronnie. My professor asked me to do this. I don't want. And then the thing that you said to me made me change my mind. And then you said this to me. You said, no, just do whatever your professor asks you to do. I said, because he's your professor, he's your supervisor, he's the one that who will pass you. Just do whatever you want. Just do whatever he said. And because of that, I said, oh, so that is actually changed me and said, okay, then I feel very easy
Relief.
at that time. Yeah, and then I said, oh, okay, that's how we should do actually. I had to follow my professor's advice actually. So and then after that, thanks to Ronnie, then I feel I'm not angry with it. Thanks to Ronnie that I'm not angry anymore because of that. Yeah.
Congratulations that you finished that. We survived actually that particular chapter of our life in
Yeah.
studying PhD, especially for because we're too far from our family that time.
It's a nightmare.
Okay. Before I wrap up this interview, because I'm so grateful that you actually share your time.
Yeah.
So what's next with Doctor Attorney Lawyer Annie?
First, I want to achieve the professor title. I want to, of course, because not because I really want to be a professor, but
Mhm.
because I want to have a better salary. I want to,
You're
I
very
want,
practical. Okay.
I want to be richer than now. I'm already rich, but I want to be richer.
You will,
So
you will. We will pray for that. Especially, I will help you to pray that you can achieve that. You will
yeah,
actually.
and then I always want to be an educator, and I love this job, and I want to stay in this field as long as possible, as long as my student loves me. I'm doing this for the love of the knowledge. I want to show to the world that no matter how hard the subject is, even law is a hard subject. I want to share with my student that law can always be fun. So I love knowledge very much, and I love my student very much. So this is one of the main message that I stay in this academic area first. And secondly, I really want to be a writer. I always say that I want to be a writer, and you know that I always write in on my Facebook, on my
Correct.
IG, but
Correct.
I want to become a proper writer actually. I always say that, but I never did anything actually. I always but I hope I can.
Try to collect your quotes, your maybe some of your
Yeah, I had
poem,
so
and
many.
then write it, and then maybe in future you can combine it and make your own book.
Of course, I had so many writings that I save. I have, but I don't publish it to the public. And then the third one is my dream. I have so many big dreams. I have so
Mhm.
many big dreams, and I thank God that I achieve it one by one. One of the dream is to study overseas. One, and then I want to become an educator. I already had it. Thank God. And then the third one is actually this one maybe is quite impossible because I already have a permanent job. I always want to stay in Japan. I want to stay
Mm.
there forever in Japan. I don't know how to achieve that, but I want to stay
Maybe
forever.
someone will hear your that you really want. Maybe some of our viewers will help you actually.
So
Who knows?
please handsome oppa, please handsome oppa, find me. I'll give you my number.
Later on, we will write it in the description.
Yeah, I
Okay,
hope
thank you
so.
so much, Annie. Actually, in part of this interview, I have some fun fair. The fun fair is sharing old pictures. Okay,
This is my
so
best friend.
her name is Rositza.
Yeah, Rosie.
What is the first impression when you saw Rositza, Rosie?
Well, the thing about Rosie is I'm impressed with her because she's an archaeologist.
Mm-hmm.
I always told her this, and I even told to my student and friend that during my KGSP time, it's not easy to find someone who is actually good in we call this good in the practice area and good in
Correct.
academic. And Rosie, she had this too. She's an actual ecologist, and she also had a PhD in ecology.
Mhm.
So she is actually a wonderful person, and the way that she talk about archaeology,
It's very
it's
interesting.
yeah, she really loved this job, and I really love it. I'm very proud that I had share with room with someone. I never had ecologist friend, so until now I'm still glad that I met her, and she has
Okay.
very her country is very beautiful.
Oh, when was the last time that you saw her?
After I moved to Gwangju, I came back to meet you right at that time.
Yeah, that is,
Yeah,
I
I
think,
think in 2000,
2015? 15,
yes,
2015, 2015.
2015. I stayed in
All
her
right.
room. I remember.
All right. So
Yeah,
thank you for that. And then the next
yeah.
one is, can you remember this picture?
Of course.
Or first,
Oh,
where is this place?
this is MacD. I cannot
Yeah,
remember
McDonald's. McDonald's.
McDonald, but in I think in I cannot remember the name, but I know this place.
Dong
It's
Incheon Yok.
Dong
That,
Incheon. Yes, yes, yes,
yeah, Dong Incheon Station.
yes, yes, yes. I remember.
That is
Oh,
the first time that actually I'm so grateful also that you joined us, because I know there's a problem with food, but you still joined us eating the meal because everyone misses McDonald's that time.
I
That's
have
why.
no problem with that. Just
Mm,
eat whatever you want. I have no problem.
yeah, we're so grateful that time. So beside me is Yosmar, and beside Yosmar is Asaya. Beside Asaya
Yeah,
is Benjamin, and then
April.
April, and then Zarkin, and then Mariana, and then you.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
remember this time.
Okay, next picture. How about this one?
Oh, we'll see the red team, of course. Did we win something? No, right?
Yeah, we won something
You
about
won?
a souvenir item like towel, probably. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember we received something from our sonsei.
This is the two is my favorite son's name, Yunina son's name, and also
Yun ina
uh
sonsei.
Yunina son's name. Yunina son's name is she knows that I love reading books, and she knows that I want to be a writer, so she gave me books as a present. So I still grateful to that. I still remember her until now. Even what we call who's this son's name? I forgot her name.
No,
Um
actually, she's not my. I
ah
never met her before. She just joined us with the picture.
Okay, I love this Sansarin so much because I really understand the way she taught me. She is one of the top three Sansarin that I'm happy with.
All
Mm.
right. So thank you. Next picture. How about this one? Can you still remember this?
Of course, I remember.
Actually,
the,
that is actually I want to share that before you make a comment. This is the first ever that we travel together in a big group.
yeah, yeah.
I think
Actually, I remember that time. Actually, you only invited few person, and then it becomes more and more and more, and suddenly
actually,
it's a
because we are waiting on the ground floor and then the first floor, and then they ask us, "Where are you going?" We're going to Seoul Grand Park. Oh, can we join? That's why it's more than 20 actually, because
yeah.
some of the people actually didn't join for this group picture. They're roaming around, but this is the first time that we go out together in a big group.
The scenery is do you remember that we rode on the what we call that the
Cable
cable car.
car, cable
the
car.
the scenery is magnificent, it's so beautiful. I still remember that. Yeah.
How about this one?
Oh,
When
during
was
my
this?
birthday.
When was this first?
My birthday, of course. This is my birthday. Oh, at that time I'm so touched that everyone celebrated my birthday. You know, I'm a Juma. I don't care about celebrating birthday. So it's kind of weird. I don't know how to react it actually. But I'm grateful that everyone was there and singing happy birthday for me. And then actually we also at the time they celebrated Diona and
Mm-hmm. Testalem. Testalem.
his birthday at that time.
Yeah. All right. Next.
Akim, I remember him. Oh, Ronnie, actually,
Where, where
Ronnie,
was
I
the?
also had this picture in my collection right now.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Oh, where is
yeah.
this? Where is this first? Where?
This is at Pyeongchang. I cannot remember the ski resort. What is
Yeah,
the
we
name?
went. We Pyeongchang.
Pyeongchang, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
This is one of the best trip we had in Korea,
Correct.
because
Correct.
it's super expensive. It's not easy to take. I remember that I stayed with Jarkin and
Mm.
Rosisa. I think no. Wait, Oni,
Oh,
and my view is where I was facing the mountainous view. I love mountainous view, so I love it. I really want
and
to. I
also
don't want.
that is your first time that you experience skiing.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I remember that when I almost because it's very slippery. I don't know how to stop it. I remember that I hugged one oppa. I'm so grateful
Okay.
that I hugged one handsome oppa. Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know how to stop it. And then he said, "It's okay." This is one of the best moments.
Okay, next, Annie.
Okay, Ronnie, this is the best class ever during our KGSP time. Oh, what is Sonsan's name? Okay,
Ikyongbok.
okay. Lee Kyung-bok is her name. Lee Kyung-bok. His name is means smells goods, right? Her meanings means good smell. So this is one of the best class that we had. It's so fun with everyone, and even our Sonsanim is really great in teaching. That
Actually,
is the most
actually,
important
this
part.
this is the first class also that we have Chinese as classmate, Chinese, and also
Chinese, Mongolian,
Mongolian, and then
Yemen,
Myanmar and African actually. What else? From Saudi Arabia,
and Oni, the beautiful
from
girl,
from
the
Thailand.
Mongolian,
From
yeah. Oni
Thailand.
is so,
This is actually hilarious.
this class
During
is,
breaks, during
yeah,
break we
I
are
love this
hilarious.
class.
Yeah, all right. And then
The
we're
best,
actually this is our level 3 Korean
yes,
class.
our level 3.
And then when
Oh,
was this?
this is was meant when I revisit in her.
Yeah,
I
you
already,
visited us. Actually, I really love the pizza. So we're so grateful. The people who are still staying in Incheon, we're so grateful that you actually number one you visited us because you
mm,
travel from Gwangju to Incheon. So we're so
but
grateful that.
you had no idea. It's very hard for me because when I revisit, I feel
Uh,
so sad because not our friend is not we're not there anymore, only few people that I had to walk, and that place I still, it's very sad for me because only few people were there, yeah.
hmm. Uh, but still, we have your memory, and that's why we took this
Yeah,
picture for.
I miss Inha so much.
I'm still keeping this for throwback like this
Of
one. So
course, yeah, this is in Jeju, Ronnie. This is one of the best trip ever, so I love this picture because you guys look so this is I love this picture so much because it's very it has so many,
actually, we're relaxed that time. We have
yeah.
no sukje, no oh, your
You
first
remember?
love, your first love.
Yeah, this is so funny. Okay, I need to share this because this Sansanim, he purposely wants to scandal himself with me. Because we know that he already has a girlfriend, but he just
Mhm.
like, okay, Annie, let's take picture. Like it's so funny.
All right.
I
I
was
think he's still
so.
teaching in Inha. Oh my
Oh
God.
really? This is. Do you remember this?
Yes. It's also in Jeju.
Okay,
Oh.
this is the friends that I met during my
Mm.
second
Mm.
day,
T-shirt.
second or third day in Guang. Second day, I think. It's the second day
Yep.
in Korea.
Mm-hmm.
So I made friends with them. So I still remember that Nishat,
Mm-hmm.
because she had no other friend, so she
Mm-hmm.
said, wherever I go, that she'll say, where are you going, Farah? Like she will follow me. Everyone, so funny. So I had to tell her wherever I go that she will follow me. Okay,
All
okay.
right.
This is same like you that this is during our sports day.
With Karen, with Karen. Oh, I remember
Okay,
this.
okay. This time when Oni she visit my house, she slept in my house, and then we go to Jinju with
No,
Nilu.
no.
So this is one of the I love Hamburg very much. I wore so many hanbok in my life in Korea. So I think more than 10, maybe 20. Because hanbok
Mm-hmm.
is one of the best thing in the best thing about Korea is hanbok. It's so beautiful. So I miss
Oh,
Sakura
cherry
very
blossom.
much. I miss Sakura very much. This is in my university. And then this is my best friend, Ronnie.
Yeah, right.
My best friend. That I want to share something. Okay, this is my best friend. Okay, this is Manik. The last day,
Yeah.
his last day in Korea.
Oh.
So he met me, and I said, Farah, I want to fly tonight. So I rushed to his university and met him, and then we had coffee together. And then that night he flew to Bangladesh. I miss him so much, but he's doing very well now at Australia with his
Yeah.
wife. Okay, this is my best friend, Korean friend. Okay, I this one, the male, Han Yubin, and then Han
Mm-hmm.
Sora is the sister. So
Uh-huh.
they were great help, and then they were the nicest Korean people, not the nicest Korean people, the nicest people that I ever met in Korea. They were so
Mm-hmm.
kind. And okay, this one I won a photography contest.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yeah, we want something. Okay, this one. Okay, this one is
Oh.
Mudong San. Okay, okay. This one I need to note to Korean people, to Korean viewer. Actually, during my time, Ronnie, I studied in PhD in demonstration. And during my study in Korea, the best part is I live in Gwangju. So
Mhm.
Gwangju is actually the city of human right, and this is where there is a big demonstration in Gwangju, and it changed the country. So I was lucky to study the
Mhm.
right thing at the right place. And then
Right.
during this time, do you remember we have the biggest demonstration in Korea? They had
Correct.
1 million demonstrators.
Correct. Correct.
It was peaceful. So I'm so lucky because I studied in demonstration and I saw that in front of my eyes, and I'm so grateful that I can watch that live in front of my eyes. I'm so grateful that. And then because at that
Actually,
time I
them
don't.
safe. Actually, safe for everyone. Even though they have this kind of demonstration.
Yeah, because at that time the Park Geun-hye president, she
Correct.
already, yeah, she was found guilty. Okay, this one is at my home, and I this is where I
Mm.
all during PhD, when I'm tired, I will go to the rooftop and then stay here with my friends, Aisha. Okay, this one my friend also. Okay, this is my cat.
Oh.
This is my cat,
Okay.
Kim Sabo. Kim Sabo. Kim Sabo. And when he died, I
Yeah, you
cried
told me
so
about
much.
what happened to your
I
cat.
cried so much, Ronnie. I never cried that bad when he died. Okay, this one, if you go to Gwangju, go to Mudongsan, and we had this very scary ride. It's super scary because they have two mountains from here to here, and then it's so slow. Oh, it's so scary. You have to go there. If you go to Gwangju, you should try this. This is our tourist attraction. That's why. Okay, this is our girls' night at Gwangju. This is one
Mm.
of the best friends that I had there. I miss them so much. Just looking at this. This is my neighbors. I had very good neighbors in Gwangju. I miss them so much. And they are Pakistanis, Bangladesh, and Indian. So the yellow shirt is she's very good cook.
Mhm. Mhm.
We call her Mama. We call her Magic Hand
Mhm.
because she cooks so great. At that time, I want to leave Korea at this time. This is my last day in Korea.
Oh.
Yeah, it's so sad. It's so sad. I can see I had the same picture with you. Same picture, Ronnie. Okay,
Oh, the
see,
same. Yeah, the same.
Ronnie, we are connected. Okay, this is sweet moments. I remember that. Yeah, see,
Oh, the
Ronnie.
same.
Oh my God. Okay, this
Oh,
is
all right.
best.
Inha
Okay,
University.
this is my favorite place in at Inha, the lake. I had hundreds of pictures of Inha Lake. This I had hundreds collection of Inha. Maybe I will share some in my album later.
Mhm.
So one
Mhm.
of the sweetest moment in Inha and also in Gwangju, Nishat always call me to go to her room. She will make henna.
It's
I
very
met.
beautiful. Actually, it's very beautiful.
Yeah, it's very beautiful. This is the first day I came to Gwangju, and then Nishat, Ibra, and
Manik.
Manik came to my house. That's why there's nothing there. See, this is my first day, and I had to cook for them. Imagine, this is Oni when
Oh,
she went to my house. Yeah. Oh, I
oh,
miss winter so much. This is from my
snowfall.
rooftop. I miss winter so much. That's why I really envy you when you're still there now. Okay, this is my I always bake there because yeah, I'm Muslim. I cannot eat everything because maybe they
Correct.
have pork gelatin, so I have to cook by myself. So I did this strawberry tart. So I miss strawberry so much. Okay, this is my the
Oh,
cat
your
that
cat.
this is not my cat. This is stray cat that always came to my house We call it Lucy. Okay. But she's so okay. Okay. Ronnie, this is okay. I want to share this. I told you that my PhD time, I had a very dark moment. Okay, this is the first time. Okay, I told you when I had that moment, I stay in the cave. I stay in my house. I call it cave. I stay in the house. I just do my work, and then I only went out just to buy groceries or to
Mhm.
meet my professor. At that time, I did not interact with any other people. I was so down at that time. I was in a dark moment. And then I had new neighbor, Aisha. So this one in the picture. So I want to what we call this? Not attribute? No, not attribute. I want to say my grateful that how I meet a very great person. So at that time we are not close, but she always asked me to come to her house for it. So eventually we become close, but she noticed that I didn't go out. So one day she registered me because in our city
Mhm.
we had we had cultural tour. So she said, Farah, I already registered you.
Registered you?
I registered you to go to for cultural tour. Let's go, Farah. I said, no, I don't want. Because at that time, I don't want to interact with any other people because I was so sad at that time. So no, Farah, let's go. Get out from your cave. And at that time, I went out there with half-heartedly. I'm not happy. But as soon as I reached there and I mingle with other people, mingle again, just like I mingle with people, with
Mhm.
my friends
Mhm.
in Inha, when I came back, actually, I said, wow, actually, I'm so happy. I
Yeah,
didn't
it's a good
realize that.
you had a good experience.
Yeah, finally, I said, I really made, and then after that, I really changed after that. And finally, I said, Aisha, when is the time that we can have culture tour? And then at that time,
Again.
yeah, we went again and again. And I'm so grateful to her that actually she pulled me out from the darkness.
It's
I'm
good.
grateful. Yeah, just like you, when I and in her, this is okay. This is my friend also. Okay, this is
Oh
the
my god.
thing that I miss about Korea is shopping. Shopping in Korea is heaven. I love makeup so much. I miss. And then this is my life now. I'm staying with my students.
Mm,
So this is
mhm.
my life now. I'm Ajuma with so many kids. See, this is my kids. This is my kids. This is my kids. So this is my life, Ronnie. I'm stuck with them, but I love them so much. See, I was kissed. So that's all my picture that I want to share with you and to share with Ronnie's friend.
Okay, Annie, before we close our interview, I would like actually to ask you any inspirational message, especially to your students, because you're already a professor. That inspirational message, and then inspirational message to a young woman or a young lady who are also inspired by watching this interview of you. She also wants to explore the world, but she's also a Muslim. She's having a problem about culture differences and also language barrier. What can you advise them to explore the world like what you did?
There is a one great scholar in our religion. He's called Imam Shafi'i. So Imam Shafi'i is a very great scholar. He advised to the people. He said that I don't know how to translate in English. He said that go travel, but not travel like holiday travel. Go travel to other places, and the God will replace your beloved one with the new people. He said that
Oh,
of course you will leave your family. Of course you will leave the things that you like most. But when you leave, the God will replace you with someone who is
mhm.
also as good as your family. And then he said that when you travel, it makes you humble. It makes that you realize that you're nobody. Same with me, Ronnie. Like I say to you, when I went to Korea, I realized
Mhm.
that I am actually nobody. When I become minority in that Muslim country, I realized that I'm nobody. So you have to be tough there. Okay, life is tough no matter where you go. Either you go
Correct.
travel abroad, or even you live in your country is also not, it's not easy. You
Mhm.
think it's easy because you think you live with your people. And
Correct.
then travel really changed me. Korea really changed me how I see people. You know, because before I went, I know that there are so many great people out there, but I don't stay abroad at that time. But when I went to Korea, I realized that actually there are so many talented people. There are so many great people, not just from America or UK. There are so many great people from many countries, and people have so many talents. People have so many. The good thing is I can see cultural differences and also cultural similarity. Even our language is also we can
Correct.
find that is sabun is the same one.
Correct.
Nasi goreng. Okay. So that's the blessing and the great part. When you mingle with people, it really open your mind. You know, there is one great what we call that. There is one great phrase in Malay proverbs. Tak kenal maka tak cinta. It says that if you don't know them, you will not love them.
Correct.
So when you know someone, it makes you it
Understand
it okay when you know someone, it diminish or not it, no, it destroy the wall of hatred.
the barrier. Yeah, the
Yeah,
barrier.
the barrier of hatred. And don't be scared. My mom always say this: if you don't try, you surely will fail. But if you
Correct.
try, at least there is a possibility that you will make it. So go travel while you were young. Go travel to the ladies out there. Don't be afraid. I'm so grateful that I did that. I am so grateful that I went to non-Muslim country and mingle with so many friends from many other countries. It really opened my eyes, and actually it really makes me change my perception about how the definition of beauty. When I came to Korea, I realized that actually my African friends, they are so beautiful. I was like, they are
Correct.
so pretty, because I don't have any African friends before. So I just like, oh my God, they're so pretty. And I met a very genius and very smart person from another country, just like you. Ronnie is very like Ronnie is different level,
No, I'm still
different
normal.
level. Okay, guys, for those who see this, you will never see someone like Ronnie, the smartest, the most hardworking. She's chincha opa, chincha uri opa. So, like, if you go out there, you will find your Ronnie. Ronnie is the bridge of our past and also our present. So find your Ronnie when you go out. When you go out there, don't be afraid.
Thank
Mingle with
you.
people. Get married with other people. It's okay.
Thank you so much, Eddie, for sharing that because people will inspire with your story because you had your journey from Malaysia and then you traveled to Korea and then you go back again. And right now, you're having your good time teaching your students. And then I will give you short time to shout out, to greet your friends, your family. It's already yours.
I don't want. Okay, so to viewers out there, I would like to thanks to Ronnie for inviting me. I want to
Actually, I'm so
say
grateful, Annie, because number one, you provide you rendered your precious time because of this. I know it's your actually your personality is quite private, but I really want people to know you're gullible, your experience, because I really want them to inspire what you did during your stay in South Korea, and I also want to as your situation right now, because especially in this time of pandemic,
yes,
we're
yes,
not
yes,
we're not
yes.
able. I cannot go to Malaysia immediately, or you cannot go to Korea. But we hope soon that we can meet face to face after this pandemic. But I really want to inspire everyone about your story, what is happening here right now, and what you did before. That's why you're successful right now as handling your students in Malaysia right now.
Okay, what I can say is, okay, this one. I want to people to know that I always say this to my student. I always to say to everyone that I talk with, in this world, the most important person is you. You is the most important person in this world. No matter if you have kids, I know that you have kids. Maybe people have parents. The priority is always you. Take care of yourself first. There are three things. There are three things that you need to take care of. Health, in terms of your mental health, your emotional health, and also
Mhm.
your physical health. If
Correct.
you take care of these three things, if you are healthy in these three things, If you're healthy, then you can take care of your beloved one, and you can give them as much love as you want. If you're not happy with something, tell people I'm not happy. If you are tired, I tell people that I'm tired and I need help. Don't burden yourself, don't keep everything
Mm-hmm.
inside you. So because this is what I always tell my student, if you keep everything inside, it will affect your performance in your study or in your life. And then if you don't share with your boss or your friends or maybe your lecturer, then people outside there, they will judge you that you have an attitude problem, but actually you have problem that you don't want to share with us. If you share, people will understand and help you. So don't always communicate with people either through writing or through by speaking with other people. And if you don't know how to, if you don't know how, and for
Express.
those who always feel stress, I suggest you to either make a diary, either by writing or picture or anything. Just post whatever that you want to do. Just see whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
You matter first, and always remember your happiness come first, not your job, not even your happiness first, whatever it is. So this is what I always say to everyone.
Okay. How
Mhm.
about greeting our KGSP friends?
To our KGSP friend, I love you guys. I miss everyone, all of you. I miss 뭐 진짜 사랑해요. 진짜 그 친구들 그만큼 가족을 사랑해요. I really really love.
How about our Soxenim?
To Sansanim, I'm really grateful to meet you in my life. And then I'm until now I'm so impressed that how they can taught us how to speak Korean. Actually, I'm so impressed with that. When I think again, they even our Sansanim is not good in English at all. They're not good, but then how they can train us to speak Korean very well, and I'm so grateful. They are the most wonderful teachers that I ever met in my life, and
All
I
right.
really miss them. Actually, I
And
really want
also your Gwangju friends.
to
Any greet?
Gwangju friend. This is Gwangju is my second home, and I always want to go back there. And I miss my friend Aisha very actually. So we always talk together. We always talk, and then even I miss my Korean friends. I miss my Gwangju friend very much actually. So I hope that I had a time to go there, and then I hope to meet you actually. I really really hope to meet you again one more time in my life.
All
I
right.
really want to meet you.
Okay. I have, before I close this interview, I have two or three pasto question, and then maybe I will ask why. But first question, what is your most favorite place in South Korea?
Gwangju.
Gwangju. All right.
Of course,
And
Gwangju.
okay. And then this is just only hypothetical, Annie. I know you're a Muslim. I respect that. We have different culture, and I know the culture of Muslim people. This is just only hypothetical.
Mm.
Hypothetical question. What if there is no more food available? Only dwejigogi. Dwejigogi is a Korean term for pork. What is
Okay.
only hypothetical? But you need to live, you need to survive. That is the only available food. Can you eat that?
Yes.
All right.
Okay, but I have an answer for that. Because in
Mm-hmm.
Muslim we have the rules that in during the times of emergency, yes, you can eat. You're allowed to. Hep tuiji. Hep
Okay.
tuiji.
Okay. Okay.
Of
And
course
then
you can.
last question. Why you are afraid of dogs?
I'm not afraid of dogs. I'm not afraid of dogs. I think dogs are very cute, but because in our religion, but in my belief, there are few beliefs, but my belief is we cannot touch the what we call it the dog's saliva. Of course,
Oh,
we can touch, but we have to wash after that. So I'm just too lazy to wash. That's all. I have no problem with dogs. I love dogs very much. I even follow dogs. I even follow dogs Facebook page because I love dogs, but I cannot. I don't want to touch that because I'm too lazy to wash my hands. That's all. That's
okay.
all.
Okay. Okay, last. You inform me a while. You actually inform everyone a while ago that there are some common words in Malaysia because I was
Yeah.
surprised when you and Yosmar are talking. Oh, Indonesia, Malaysia, and also some words in the Philippines are the same. But to inform our viewers, so how do you call eyes in Malaysia?
Mata.
Mata. We also call this mata.
Oh. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's amazing, right? And how
Yeah.
about ears? How do you call ears in Malaysia?
Telinga.
Telinga, but we call it stainga.
Stainga?
Yeah, it spells as Tainga. Tainga.
Ah. Almost the same, Ronnie. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's almost the same, right? And how about all gold or face?
Muka.
Muka. You spell Muka, right?
Yes.
But in the Philippines we call it mukha. Mukha.
Muka. Oh.
Yeah, mukha. That's why
Wow,
it's
really?
very amazing. That's why you can live in our country, and I can also live in Malaysia because the first time I landed in Malaysia, I'm so afraid. But when I some of the what's the signage, oh, it's the same in our country, and then I
Oh,
asked the
really?
people. Yeah, I asked the people. Oh, it's the same meaning. That's why. Oh, I can I can live in Malaysia.
Even your face is also look like Malaysian.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and also one more because we always use umbrella. It's very important. How do you call umbrella in Malaysia?
Payung. Payung.
Payong. We call it payong.
Oh, two. There are so many similarities. Oh my god.
Okay. Maybe in future you can make because you're making a books, you're making collecting pictures. Maybe we can do
Yeah.
some collaboration also in future. Anyway, Annie, thank you so much. I'm so grateful and wait for my package because as a souvenir, I will send
Oh
you an
my god.
item from Korea as my Thanksgiving for this interview. I'm so grateful that you actually accepted this one and giving me permission to record it and do some editing and upload this in YouTube. And I will update you if this is already uploaded. And I'm so grateful and take care, Annie, number one, because we're still living in the pandemic. And
Yes.
hopefully, we can meet up again face to face. Either I will go to Malaysia or you can actually, I'm inviting you to visit me here in Korea with your
I am
parents
going to visit you. I am going to
and,
visit you
and also
definitely.
say hi and my regards to your parents, especially your dad, your mom, because I met them in South Korea. They treated me well. I'm so
Yes,
grateful that
yes.
I met them. So please send my regards and tell them to stay healthy. And then I hope that we can still meet each other in future. So
You too.
congratulations,
Mm.
Annie. I know your dreams will come true soon. So thank you
Yes.
so much. I'm so happy for this interview.
Thank you, Ronnie. Salam he.